Hello guys, Fairy Tail chapter 509 is out, and I have just been reading it. And to start off, we see August with Crime Sorcier, and Jalal seems very shocked to the fact that August has single-handedly taken them all out. And quite early on, we see August putting his foot on Jalal's head and questioning him why he left Seraph's side essentially, because we know in the Tower of Heaven arc he was actually kind of following Seraph. And Jalal explains that he found his light, and that's when we see this panel of Urza. So it is almost confirmed, guys. Urza. Well, at least on Jalal's side. So we just need Urza essentially to confess it on screen, I guess, before it's gonna happen. And then August just goes on to blabber on about how Zerv actually had a son, which, as we know, is Larcade from the previous chapter, because it tells Kagura and Yukino. And he explains that Larcade wasn't actually loved by anyone. So, he went fucking full emo essentially, kind of somewhere between light and darkness. And he claims that there is no good or evil in light or in darkness. It doesn't exist. And this is like August speaking, I think. Where he explains that if there is true justice in this world, it may well lie in love and naught else. And Joel is trying to stand up because he wants to protect Ursa, essentially. And that's when it cuts off to Larcade and Kagura, where I guess they are preparing to fight. And Larcade actually introduces himself with his full name. He says his name is Larcade Dragneel. And this is where shit goes down, alright, guys? Yukino and the cats, Lecter and Frosh, they hear that he referred to himself as a Dragneel, and Yukino reacts, and then Lecter steps in and says it's got the same last name as Natsu, and then Larcade goes on to continue explaining that Natsu is his father's younger brother, and then he just says that, oh, I suppose I would make him my uncle, and you can see that Kagura is extremely shocked to hear this. Well, as well as Yukino actually. Um, he also explains that because Natsu is more loved by Zeref than Arcade is, he kinda hates Natsu essentially, so can't really forgive Natsu, I guess. Kinda wanna kill him, I don't know. And then he goes on to fight with Kagura, where he shoots out his light blades or bananas, as I've heard a very particular YouTuber call it. And actually, Kagura actually counters him pretty well to begin with, but when she comes to the end of, when it comes to the end of their fight, which is pretty quick to be honest, you can see Kagura using her final move against him, the same move she used against Yukino in the Grand Magic Games, when she gets real close. But when she actually strikes against Larcade, it has absolutely no effect on Larcade whatsoever. Okay. Like, he's not bothered. He even blocks that fucking sword of Kagura's with 2 fingers, guys. So I think this is kind of a way of showing us how strong Larcade is. Because we know Kagura is pretty fucking strong. And then Larcade goes on to explain that he, August, and Eileen are on a whole other level than the other Spriggans, right? He even claims that they are special exceptions. And then, he kind of goes on to, I guess, taunt Kagura in a way, calling her face of, I don't know, anger or whatever, a delightful expression. And he says that it is the face of one who has completely abandoned hope, knowing they cannot possibly defeat the enemy for them. And quite frankly, I don't really know what Arcade did, but you can see Kagura getting fucking torn apart, okay? And, I'm not sure if he killed her. I mean, it's fairy tale, so, I mean, quite frankly, I don't know. But, yeah, Arcade promises her a very sweet and, I guess, painless death. And that fuck me, like that. Shit, he's so strong, guys. I mean, Kagura is so underrated, alright? And she got fucking torn to shreds. Now, after that, kinda tells her, now rise to the heavens and your death. And that's why I'm kind of thinking that he may be dead, but at the same time, it's fairy tale, so I really am on my guard. Then August keeps talking to Jalal again very briefly, and he says that the only one who can defeat Larcade is his mother, and we get a panel of Mavis. And that is where the chapter ends, with the next chapter being titled Natsu's Heart. And is that name, that title, I'm really interested to see if it could be a Nalu reference, or if it's just a more literal meaning. Yeah, that's about it for this chapter, guys. I really hope that Kagura doesn't die, by the way, because I really like Kagura, and I hope that Jalal actually